Alright, welcome to Classy Wear Sewing Workshop. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cut out senator top. A senator top. How to cut a senator top. Okay. If you're deriving value from this video, do well to subscribe to this channel, Classy Wear Sewing Workshop. Alright, let's get to work. The measurements we need today, measurement of this person. The measurements we need, we'll be needing the neck, the shoulder, the sleeve length, the round sleeve, the chest, and the length of the top. So the measurements we are making use of: the neck is going to be 16, the shoulder is going to be 18, the sleeve length is 15.5. This is a kind of 3/4 sleeve length. Then the round sleeve is 12.5. The chest is 40. Then the length is 34. As you can see, I've already folded my fabric into two. I folded it, this side is closed, fold it inside. I didn't fold it to have the two edges. One of the edges is the other side, one of this is another edge. I fold it like this. Now, for you not to waste the fabric, fold it exactly the way you want to cut, the place you want to cut. Just fold exactly the way you want to cut. Now, this person's chest is 40. I found out that out of this measurement, 40 is the largest, 40 is the biggest one. So we're going to cut this top with all our measurements will fall in this 40. So now I've already folded this fabric. I've already folded this fabric. 40, first thing we're going to do is 40 divided by 4 is going to give us 10. Your chest is going to be divided into 4. Your chest, the chest measurement is always divided into 4. And if you divide it into 4, you have 10 inches. Now this 10 inches, normally me, I use 1 inch to join my top. And this 10 inches, I am adding 2 inches. I'm adding 2 inches for everything that I want to cut, both the down part and the chest. I'm going to trim all of them. So I added 2 inches, making it 12. So I have 12 inches already. I folded 12 inches. This is, remember our chest is 10. Then I had added 2 inches. 2 inches. When we are cutting it, I will still tell you why I added these 2 inches, having known that I join my senator wears with 1 inch allowance. So let's start. So you can now cut out this. You cut out this place. This is it. Now first and foremost, I'm going to roll a line at the top part of it. Here we can see this. Okay. Now, with this line, the next thing is to get your length, your top length. Here we have 34. Measure your 34 inches. Measure your 34 inches here. Take it this side to measure again. Now, from here to here is your length, top length. So this down, I'm going to add 2 inches allowance for folding. I'm going to fold this in. This is it. Now I can now cut it. This is the front part of it. If I cut out this, we'll use this to get the back side of it. I always like to cut out my front and back together, so that is why I'm going to cut out the back part of it, so that I'll place them together and do the main cutting. Alright, I've already folded the one I want to use for the back, so I will bring the front I cut out earlier, then place it on this. Make sure that this edges is also aligned. Make sure that the edges like this is also aligned together. This is the front part of it. Now I'm going to cut out the back side of it. I want you to get it. So this is the down part. The down part, I'm going to add 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches, just add 3 inches. Remember, I added 2 inches for allowance, for folding allowance at the down part. From that place, add 3 inches again to the back part of it, to the back part of the clothes, the back. Don't forget. Don't forget. I will show you why we are adding these 3 inches at the down part of it. I just want to cut it off. So that we know that what we have is what we want to work with. So I'm going to cut this. Here we are. are, the neck is 16. Now I want to use this opportunity to do a video on to dwell more on how to cut out the neck. The neck is 16. The neck is 16. Now for you to, I want to slant here. Normally some persons do their shoulder slants from here. No, it is wrong. It's actually wrong, because if you do your shoulder slant from this point to this point, it will cause a wrinkle at the armhole when the person is wearing the clothes. Like some persons will be asking, why is this wrinkle always coming out at the armhole of my clothes? This is actually the cause. So if you make a line from here to here, but definitely you must have a shoulder slant. So now, before you have your shoulder slant, take out your neck measurement. How to get neck? In neck we have the width, the length and the width. The length and the width. So this is the width, this is the depth of the, so it will come like this. Now before that, we need to slant our shoulder from the width of our neck, where the neck is starting from. That is where we need to slant our shoulder from. You don't slant it from this place and then you start looking for your neck. No. Now since our neck is 16, what you need to do to get the neck width is just divide 16 into 2. Just follow me. I want to make it in a way whereby it will be so easy for you. Divide the 16 into 2. Practically you are having 8 inches. Now you divided the 16 into 2. Now the next thing, we are still going to divide the 8 into 2. You are having 4 inches. So practically we have divided this 16 into 4. Now we have 4 inches. Now this, at this 4 inches, add ½ inch to this 4 inches, which is 4.5. Then divide it into 2. Divide it into 2 again. 4.5 divided into 2, you're having 2.2. This is your neck width. Now place it, you have your 2.2 here. This is exactly where your neck, where your shoulder slant is coming from. We start from. It will not start from here. Start from here. Now just get, probably, I know some persons will have a kind of difficulties in this neck aspect of it. Pay attention. Just pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. This neck is actually a separate tutorial on its own, but I actually want to do it in this video for the benefit of those who will take advantage of this. Your neck is 16. Divide your neck into 4. If you divide this 16 into 4, you are having 4 inches. You are having 4 inches. first of all, this is the 16. I've divided it into 2. It's giving me 8 inches. Then I divide it into 2 again, making it 4. It's giving me 4 inches. Now I'm adding half inch to this 4, which is 4.5. So I'm going to divide it again, divide it into 2 again to get this, and I'm having 2.2. This is my neck width. This is my neck width. Now the shoulder is 18. The shoulder is 18. I don't add allowance to my shoulder. 18 is 9. Shoulder, you're dividing it into 2. It's 18 divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 will give me 9 inches. So I'll place it here and mark my 9 inches. Place it and mark my 9 inches. So from these 9 inches, I'm going to determine the depth in which I'm going to slant my shoulder. So I use 2 inches. I come in with 2 inches. This is probably for adults. If you are doing it for a child, it will not be up to that 2 inches. You can use like 1.5 inch or possibly 1 inch if it is a child. But this is an adult. So some persons the slant on their shoulder is a kind of broad one. But when you use 2, you can actually curtail it actually. So normally I use 2. My clothes. So I'm going to connect this line with this. That is my shoulder slant. Now another mistake some persons make is maybe that is how they learn to get on actually. But I've actually put this to test. I must be honest with you, it gives me exactly what I want. So if you follow this, you will actually get the same results you want, provided you have your measurements accurate. Provided you have your accurate measurements, you must definitely get the right thing. So this is it. Some persons we just come to this place and slant with 2 inch. No, then connect it with this. No, if you connect it with this, definitely you are not slanting more than your slant is not up to 2 inches again. Having known that you're going to cut off from this shoulder, your armhole is going to come from this shoulder. So why slanting from this side when you are going to cut out from this side? So just follow this. Now I've slanted my shoulder, so I have to cut it off. Remember, I have the front and back together. That is, I like cutting the front and back together. I like cutting it together because it makes my work so easy. I don't have to cut the front, then later on I will start cutting the back. This slant now, I've slanted it together with the front and back. What I need to do now, remember that the 3 inches we had down, I'm going to pull the front down to meet these 3 inches. So actually, these 3 inches we added down is actually for the up. It's actually for the up. Now, why do we have this? It's just an overlap of the back to the front. An overlap from the back to the front. Definitely, your back will join the front, but there should be an overlap. You don't just cut it like this. What will you use to join it together? No, this is an overlap for you to join the back to the front. Join the back to the front. Now you are overlapping it to the front with half inch. With half inch. I just mark this half inch here so that it will give me the guide. It will give me the exact guide I need to overlap this. So this is it. This is the half inch. So if I just iron it, iron it to make sure that I'm on the same track. So this is it. This is it. So I'll retake my shoulder measurement again. We have 9. I'll take it here. Follow the slant. Follow the slant to get your 9 inches. Exactly here. Now I'm going to roll a line. This is my armhole line. Exactly from this shoulder. I'll roll the line to meet this shoulder. This is it. Now thank God this line is now showing here. So no need for me to fold it here, fold it like this and start taking my measurement. I've already seen a guide where I'm taking the measurement, because if I fold it like this, definitely my measurements will start from here. We start from this place. So if I want to take like 8 inches now, it will start from here. So I already have the line inside which I will take this 8 inches. I don't necessarily need to fold this before I can take the measurement. That is why I had to give it a straight ironing here. Now another part is your armhole. Your armhole. How do you get your armhole? My armhole, if I want to get the armhole measurement, I use my chest. If I use chest measurement, if I use my chest measurement, I'm going to divide it into 4 and minus 2 inches from it. So if I divide my chest into 4, I have 40 divided by 4. I'm having 10 inches. So my chest divided by 4, I'm having 10 inches. So this 10 inches, I'm going to remove 2 inches. That will be 8 inches. Now, if the person is a kind of chubby, you can actually remove 1.5 inch. When you have divided your chest into 4, you can remove 1.5 inch, making it 8.5. 8.5. That is probably if the person wants it. He doesn't want it to be too fitted, as in fitted. Want it to be a bit free. You can minus 1.5 inch. But this person is just a kind of small. I'm using the 8 inches. I remove 2 from 10, so I'm having 8 inches. So now look at where I am having the 8 inches. So if probably I had to fold this like this, I'm also going to have 8 inches like this. 8 inches. So this is my armhole line. This is already my armhole line. Then I want to get the armhole length on it, which I've already had 8 inches. Remember, the 8 inches is from the back panel of the cloth. So now from that 8 inches, from here now, this is where our chest measurement will now fall. take your measurement. Our chest is 40. This is it. Now I'll add 1 inch to it. This is my sewing allowance. Remember, when we are cutting this, I added 2 inches already. I added that 2 inches because my chest and my down part will not be equal, will not be the same. That is why sometimes if you see some clothes, you find out that at the hip part of it, the top is tightened the person at the hip part of it. No, this is a video where you watch to correct that error. Now I added 2 inches when we are cutting it, which gave me 12. Normally we're supposed to be having 10 and 11 and 1 inch, which is 11. Fine. Now I added the 2 inches just to get what I want at this down part, at the hip part of the cloth, so that when I'm trimming, I cannot trim everything at once. Take note, your chest measurement and the hip part of it will not be the same. Definitely the hip must be a bit bigger than the chest. The hip must be a bit bigger than the chest. So that's why I added the 2 inches, so that when I'm trimming it off, by that time I've already marked out my hip part of it, so that this 1 inch will not affect this part. I'm actually going to add the 1 inch on all of them. So now I've measured my chest is 10, which is 40. I added 1 inch allowance to it. Now coming down to this part, remember from here now is just the allowance, the folding allowance. Remember the folding allowance. Now I'm going to take the measurement down from here. Now I will use 8 inches. 8 inches. Yes, I'll use 8 inches for that opening at the down part of the clothes. That opening at the down part of the clothes. Normally you are not going to stitch all. You're not going to sew from here to this place. There will be an opening from here to here. So definitely here now will be your concentration for that your hip part. Here will be the concentration of that your hip part. If the person is tall, if the person is taller enough, you can also make it to be 9 or 10, depending how tall the person is. But on this measurement now, we are having this measurement. This person, the accurate one to use for this person is 8. So the person is not that too tall. So on this part, remember our chest is 40. Now I am going to make this plate 10.5. I'm going to add ½ inch here. This is my hip part of it. Now if I add 10.5, I'm going to add my 1 inch allowance. Have you seen it that 2 inch allowance I added is almost gone? It's almost gone because of this place. So my work now is just to trim it out and join it and get to this place. You are done with what you want to do. Alright, so let's cut it off. Normally use 16. This place I use 16 to get the midpoint of this place, the center of it. So I'm going to, our chest is 40. Now I'm going to remove ½ inch. This is 9 and half. I'm going to remove ½ inch here and add my sewing allowance 1 inch. Just follow this. You will get exactly what you want. Find out that there is a curve here to make this. So at the tummy part of it, I reduced it. Then at the hip part of it, I added it. But my chest remained the same. My chest is 40. Then coming down to the tummy part of it, I reduced it because your tummy and your chest cannot be the same. Your tummy is always smaller, unless it is someone. If you meet someone that the tummy is bigger than the chest, that means the chest measurement should be the tummy measurement. You cannot use here. The chest should not be. How will I put it now? Definitely, your chest should not be bigger than your tummy. Sorry, your tummy should not be bigger than your chest. Your tummy should not be bigger than your chest. But in a situation where you measure somebody and the tummy of that person is bigger than the chest, use the tummy measurement to get the chest. Just use the tummy measurement on the chest and do exactly what I've done here. In those kind of situations, some persons might not really be, their physique is not really good. Their body build is not really good. On that note, just take note, on that note, use the tummy measurement as your chest measurement. Use the tummy measurement as your chest measurement, because this place will not be big and this place will be small. The thing will be shapeless. It will look shapeless. It will definitely look shapeless. So take note of that. Thank you. So let's cut it off. Now this part should not be deep inside, should not come in too much. Some persons will use 1 inch to deep this side. No, it's also another problem that contributes to that armhole wrinkling here. It's also another problem that contributes to the armhole wrinkling. Just use something 1/2 inch to dip inside. Now I'm going to cut out my armhole. I'm going to cut out my armhole now. Definitely, sometimes you can use your French curve. If you have your French curve, you can just rule or not draw the line to meet here. Now, I don't want to cut it like this now. I don't want to fold this and cut it like this. I want to cut it this side. Meanwhile, cutting it this side, cutting it here, you will not cut it from here. You will not cut exactly from here. You come like up 1 inch. You come out with 1 inch. But make sure that when you are cutting it, the line, when you are cutting it, we must intersect from this point. So make sure whenever you are cutting it, the line must intersect from these points of our shoulder. Now cut it. Come in, yes. Then you dip your hand. See how I'm doing it small to meet this part. Then I'm going to cut this off. So this is our armhole. I'm going to cut from that 1 inch allowance, joining this part till I meet here. Then you can cut it off here. So fine, look at it. My 1 inch. My 1 inch allowance is here. So if I'm joining it to here. So now remember our neck, we didn't finish it. So how to get the depth, the the depth of our neck, what we are going to cut out from here. So just that thing we did from this. Remember, we divided our neck into 4 to get 4, then later we added ½ inch to divide it by 2 to get this. Now divide your neck into 4 and add that ½ inch, which is 4.5. That 4.5 would now be what you are going to use for this depth. Will now be what you are going to use for the depth. Now fold this. We're going to trim this place. For this, we have 4.5 here. 4.5 from the back panel to this will be 4.5. Not from the front part of it though. Not from the front part of it though. If you use if you use this side, it will be too big. Oh, just this line. Look at where it ended here. 4.5. Find out. If you fold this one, the place where this line ended, the place where this you will folded this thing to have ½ inch overlap. Just place your 4.5 on it. You have your neck, so you can now connect it together. You can now connect it. So here I'm trimming off here now. Yes, to have. So here, exactly here, you're going to connect it to this place. We're going to connect it and cut it. Now you can see we've already cut out our neck. Just follow that step. Follow the step. Now I've cut out this neck. If you want to be sure, if you want to be sure if you are still in line with the accurate neck measurement. Remember, the measurement is 16. The neck measurement is 16. Now, for you to know if you are in line, you have to measure the round neck you've already cut out. Measure it 16. Now if you divide 16 into 2, it will give you 8. If you measure it round, you will have 8 inches. So measure it round, you will definitely arrive at C. You have 8 inches. 8 inches, which is 16. That means our neck is accurate to be 16. Our neck is accurate to be 16. So follow the steps. You will definitely get exactly what we are doing here. So in the next video, the next tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to cut out the sleeve of Senator. The sleeve of Senator.